Another movie review. This film that we are reviewing today is The Whale by Darren Aronofsky. I am one of your hosts, Ben, and this is Marshall. Take it away.
Hello. I'm gonna say this straight away. I'm not gonna spoil anything about this film. This is a film that you really need to experience in the cinema. We'll go over the basics. We'll go over how it made us feel. I feel, but I'm not gonna spoil a single thing, not a single plot point.
I will try equally. I don't know if it will be any plot point, but I'll definitely try not to just wholly spoil things at all. I'll try to keep it as spoiler
Hmm.
free as possible
I
within
feel like
reason.
we can give the gist, but not.
Yes,
It,
but
it really is one of those things that you have to watch and experience to
it was
be
probably,
able to get the full. Yeah.
yes, I'd say it's definitely probably the most raw film I have seen at a cinema. It was very, very powerful for one.
Mhm.
Um, and I am wholeheartedly saying that that's probably Brendan Fraser's best performance that he's done, and potentially best performance that he will ever do. Um,
Yeah.
but
I think I'll agree.
I can only hope that now that, although this, from having a look, hasn't done very well in the box office at all. It was like a £10 million, $10 million film, and it's only grossed to about 20 million so far. But I don't know how new it in the
Oh.
cinema it is. I don't know if it's just because I was hearing about the whale before
Um,
seeing this. I don't know if it's very fresh at all, but it might just be one of those almost artsy type films that maybe goes under the radar a little bit with just the general audience. But
Yeah, I think it probably is that kind of thing. Same with what is it, Everywhere, Everything, All at Once. Obviously,
yeah.
it's done numbers, it's done bits, but well, I think when it first came out, I don't think many people were talking about it, if any.
I was excited to see it, and I did go see it, and I loved it, which was nice. But
Hmm.
this also was another A24 film, and I would just happily trump the horn that I think A24 is the best for films at the moment, and I think will continue to be for producing films, as that just allows for so much creativity in things, much more than
Yeah,
just generic Hollywood, so to speak. But
more freedom to
hmm,
its directors. You could definitely tell that they had this was someone's image, right? Someone wanted this story told in this specific way.
yes, I honestly know nothing about the background. I don't know if this was based on someone's life, something that
Hmm.
happened. I don't know if there were certain inputs from certain cast members or anything to how, you know, characters were portrayed. The rough narrative, or so to speak, is essentially Brendan Fraser plays a character called Charlie, who is incredibly obese, and essentially, in essence, he tries to reconnect with his daughter. That's about the essence of the film.
Hmm.
Um, it's, as we've mentioned, it's a very raw and it's a very emotional film, and Brendan
Hmm.
Fraser gives a stunning performance in which I am hoping he wins something at the Oscars, because if not, I will fully just not believe in the Oscars anymore, as this was a very, very good performance, and I don't think any of the other potential nominations or nominees would classify as being a better performance than this.
Hmm.
Uh,
I think I'd agree. He's amazing in this film. He really just I don't know. It's just incredible. I really can't toot its horn enough.
no, he. I am very happy that he is back in some form of spotlight, and even though the previous video to potentially this one was our one of the first Mummy with Charles and myself, there has been talks about a potential fourth Mummy film with Brendan Fraser in, which would be unholy nostalgic, and I would love to see just him as some is like the old mentor guy for the new team randomly, or just one last adventure type of thing, even if it was
Indiana
crummy.
Jones style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would be up for it at least.
Yeah,
um
I'd love to see that. I'd love the Mummy films.
they're such a big part, and Brendan was such a big part of my childhood randomly. Like,
They're
As
always my mum's favourites, so I always watched a lot of them.
I,
Indiana Jones.
I promise my chair is farting, not me, to clarify. But I think one of my only gripes with this film, although Sadie Sink, she played her character well, it didn't feel anything other than just rebellious Max from Stranger Things. I don't think she changed much more than that, annoyingly.
Yeah, I got the same vibe. I thought they were it was a very similar character to Max from I think it's season 2 when Max is first introduced.
Yeah,
Right?
sort of like, ooh, rebellious, look at me, I'm Max, I
Yeah.
skateboard, type of
Yeah,
thing.
cool.
Yeah, I'm cool, I'm rebellious. It's literally just Max a bit later on, potentially, in a funky universe. But, yes, no, it was a similar thing for me, Tom Holland. Like, he's not necessarily a bad actor, but especially in Uncharted, I basically felt like he could just suddenly put on the Spider-Man suit at any given point.
Yeah, he plays the same character in everything that he's in.
And that felt very reminiscent for Sadie Sink with this, unfortunately. Now, going on with Darren Aronofsky's films, the only film I have seen of his prior to this, for direction-wise, is Black Swan, which was a very, very cool film. Definitely not a good film to watch with your mother at the time, but as I was wholly unaware of some very NSFW scenes in it, which made it quite uncomfortable. But that's the only one I have seen to do with him. I know that he has done Requiem for a Dream and The Wrestler. I think he was part of the Fighter film, but it was nice to see another film of his, as I am definitely a fan of his now, I would say. I wasn't not a fan, but I am now more of a fan with The Whale.
Yeah. I think now that I've seen The Whale, I kind of want to see what other stuff he's produced, because I've seen none of it. I've seen absolutely nilt of it. No, I do. No, I do.
Requiem for a Dream, I've heard good things about. The same with The Wrestler, just being just good films. So they have been on my IMDb watch list for a very long time. I'm just trying to think of, like, although, because neither of us really have much of a script, we're trying to do it very like
raw, just like
raw.
this film, nice and raw.
We've only momentarily come back from the cinema, and we're just trying to give our initial impressions of the film without any spoilers. It's hard to talk about it, really. You won't expect how it goes. That's about as much as I can say. It is quite difficult to watch in some places, and there were some almost red herrings that got thrown out in the film, in which I thought certain characters weren't going to be what they were or were starting to look like, which was nice. The lady that plays Kim was really nice. She was very warm, very nice in her. Just repeat the word nice, and she just did well in her role, and I enjoyed having her presence on screen. I liked the way she interacted as her character Kim with Charlie. It was a very warm relationship, although it hard for her.
For reasons which we won't go into, because that's probably one of the biggest spoilers.
But essentially, Charlie is an online. I can't remember if it was a college professor or just like a high school professor.
He's a college professor, right? It's like the Open University.
Yes, Open College. Yes, where he basically never turns his camera on at all because he is quite large. Yes, as the film uses a few times, disgusting. Yeah. There are a few moments where this one will be a semi-spoiler, but I can't explain the point without talking about it, so bear with. There is a scene in which Charlie chokes, and that was a very powerful scene, but given his condition, I wish we had seen more scenes like that, where it was really up in the ante of how bad he was and how his lifestyle was for him, rather than just kind of seeing him not be able to walk around very well, as we could have had that from an old person. I'd have liked to have seen more things that would just showed how bad his health was and how just much he wasn't looking after himself.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
I wish there was a bit more of that. I feel like they should have done something for every day, but I guess then it would have been like weird to be like, "Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen today."
What if he's gonna choke today? Or
yeah.
But no, I think that would have just maybe heightened it to a level that would have taken the film even further. I honestly, other than those just small nitpicky things, I wouldn't know how to improve the film really. Maybe have someone that wasn't Sadie Sink, but I mean, she still didn't do bad. Her emotions are really, really good, but again, it was just a kind of rebellious Max, really. The music was really nice. It was all filmed really well with a very limited location. It was pretty much just in an apartment, really. That was it. We didn't see particularly anywhere else other than a beach scene as a flashback.
Yeah.
So that was quite cool. I like films that manage to achieve something with very minimal locations used. I think that's the point of cinema. It doesn't need to be all flashy CGI, crazy looking, Avatar-esque worlds. If you can,
it really doesn't.
You can achieve something very powerful. You could film in my house, for example. It was no bigger than that, which was really great. Trying to think what else really. I'll let you take some reins, I guess, whilst I have more of a think.
Yeah,
please do.
There's one character in the film that I didn't really like that much, and that's the kid, the other kid, the guy that ran away from home and whatnot.
Ah, yes, there's a random Mormon type of, not Mormon. What's the word? Not militia.
No. It's
missionary.
Mormon, isn't it? Missionary, that's it. But a Mormon is effectively the same thing, right? They knock on your door and try and.
Oh, what was I? I was thinking of that, like, the people that live like really secluded with no radio and things.
Oh God, I know what you mean, but I don't know the name for it.
Oh, flippin'. I thought that was Mormon randomly, but no, continue.
But I don't know. I thought his character was a bit weird. I liked it at the start, and I wish they kind of went a different way with it. I wish he didn't fall back on God constantly, and feeling like he needed to be the one and only. I'm not going to say anymore because I just realised that I started going into spoiler territory. But
his end bit was very disappointing. The final interaction with the character was very disappointing.
That's my main gripe with the film. If I'm being completely honest, that and the pizza guy. The pizza guy did something more.
Yes, to be fair, I thought the pizza guy was going to do more.
So did I.
Cool, we got to see the pizza guy randomly because I didn't think we were going to see him. But
yeah, I kind of like the fact that. I don't like that he wasn't used more, but I kind of like the fact that he was only really there for morbid curiosity. And
for just
the
one scene we cannot talk about.
Yeah.
But randomly, the person that played Thomas, I'm about to say militia person, the missionary person, he's the little kid from Iron Man.
Is he actually?
Yeah. Huh. From having a look, Ty Simpkins. He is at least I think it is, the Harley Keener. I'm fairly sure that's the kid from Iron Man and Endgame and things. Yeah, it 100% is from just a very quick Google. It is. Wow. I thought I did recognise him in the film. I was like, I've seen your face somewhere. But other than that, there is literally just some person called Liam who's like uncredited in the film, and then a young Ellie, which is who Sadie Sink plays, and basically the mum who you only see towards the end of the film. And it's a cast that literally has 8 people in it in its entirety, which just helps as well.
Yeah, it really felt grounded and real. I feel like the small cast did a lot for that.
Most definitely. It's spoiler alert, we both cried.
I was bawling. I had to get Ben to give me a hug on the way.
It was a good film. I very much enjoy a film where I'm humbled I feel something that's more, it's a film I went in thinking I'm going to like feel emotional or feel like challenged in a way, and it certainly does. It shows you little quips of how a small pizza man just kind of, maybe just taking that 2 seconds to ask, are you sure you're okay? Just having a friend that comes and checks in on you regularly can just make ever so slight differences for one person, and just showing someone's support network, no matter how not amazing it was for Charlie as a character. But he's a pessimist, I'm fairly sure is the word. He's essentially someone that had given up at this point. So it's not
Which
roses and fairies and things. It's a hard watch, and
it definitely is a hard watch.
It's
but in a good way.
Yes, most definitely. It's definitely a film I want to watch. Maybe not again. I definitely watch it with someone. My partner's mum, I would like to see. I'd like to watch someone that can probably appreciate the film. Is what I want to. And just the annoying thing from having a quick look, the best picture, The Whale is not on there. Although, to be fair, I don't think The Whale is a best picture.
I don't know if it's best picture. I feel like it's best performance.
Best performance, yes. And
what is
maybe
for best picture? What's the tangent here?
Woman Talking, Tar, Triangle of Sadness, Top Gun Maverick, The Fabelmans, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elvis, Avatar, and All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, okay. There's a few there that I've seen, but most of them I haven't seen at all.
Yeah, no, I am on the shorter half of that. But for me, I would actually say Top Gun Maverick.
I thought I was going to be crazy and say, oh yeah, no, Top Gun Maverick has my vote, but no, Top Gun Maverick has my vote as well. It's between that and Elvis for me. Elvis really got to me as well.
Oh damn! I've out of that list, I've seen Top Gun, Banshees, everything, and that's it. Unfortunately, The Fabelmans. I don't know if it's still in a cinema, but I think Tar is, in which we could definitely go see Tar, as that looks quite cool. But if it's not Top Gun, I want it to be the Banshees or Everything, to be honest. Banshees was very powerful for a small film. But Everything for pure, like, it was just an absolute mental film. Even with its
I love Everything.
Niche, sort of, not niche, it had a very wow, I can't think of what the word is. My words are just illuminating me at the moment. It had a very simple plot behind everything. But Top Gun Maverick, to me, it's probably the best sequel to, or up there for one of the best sequels.
100%.
Empire Strikes Back and Two Towers are some of the best sequels in my opinion. And I think that ranks itself with it was how you do a film that hasn't been out for nearly 20 years plus, or actually more than 20 years. That's how you do a sequel to a film that is long gone. Well, it's long since been released. But enough with the tangencies. I reckon we'll give a last
tangent there.
we'll give a last thing of the Whale, I guess. For me, I wholeheartedly recommend it. I recommend that you go watch it, you experience it, and just try taking everything that's being thrown your way, even if you disagree with how Charlie's character lives, or that the fact that he doesn't want to seek help and things. Sometimes that's when you're at rock bottom. That's how you are. You sometimes have accepted things. Sometimes you
give up.
Yeah, and it's okay, I guess, to some way.
Sometimes it is.
For this piece of film, at least, it's some scenes are quite hard to watch. There is a couple scattered throughout the film, but essentially the last scene before the film comes to a very abrupt ending was a very, very hard watch. But for me, I I don't want to say a 10. So I think I have to give it a high 9 out of 10. But that's just because I'm thinking about some of the nitpicks that I've said. But as a first watch at a cinema, I would probably give it a 10.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes just experiencing something in a cinema like that and being moved is powerful enough itself for me to have a 10 randomly.
Exactly that. I'm rating it a 10. I'm giving it a 10. Wholeheartedly, I'm giving it a 10. I've not felt like that in a cinema for a very long time. That's why I also cannot recommend watching this film for yourselves enough. It's insane.
It most certainly is, and both myself and Marshall have Odeon Limitless, so hopefully we will be continuing this potentially new type of series where we are just almost... I don't know how long this is. I think this is almost... Oh, we're at 20 minutes, so I can't even call it something shorter, but which is 20 minutes is still fine. But this is hopefully a continuation of a series for basically just come back from the cinema and just give our initial thoughts of the film really, and I hope people have enjoyed.
Try and get out as quick as we can. Make sure that the films are still in the cinema.
Just post this like 4 weeks later. Yeah. But no, hopefully people have enjoyed listening to it, and hopefully even if it just takes one person that's watched this to go watch The Whale and experience it, even if you don't end up liking it, that's still fine. That's the point of cinema for me, is to enjoy, spread your if someone's top 10 films could be different to someone else's, that might get someone else to watch a film and experience that, and then from experiencing that they might then tell someone else to be like, hey, I watched this film that someone recommended, and that's just the magic of film for me.
Yeah, it seriously is such an amazing medium. So,
but yes, please like, subscribe, drop a comment if you've seen The Whale, tell me what you think, and we like hearing from everyone. But yeah, that's everything. Everyone take care now. Goodbye.
Bye bye.